The situation here in the closing moments of round number 3.
And again, Joe, I mentioned a couple rounds ago, you know, a fighter from an offensive standpoint has to find a way to set up his offense. And when you fight a guy like Krupp, who's wide open and technically makes so many mistakes looking for the big shot, and he respected the sport, and I appreciate that. He came in there and he did not in any way make a mockery out of it. You know, he allowed me to train him the same way as I would train an aspiring fighter at a beginning level, and he listened and he allowed himself to be put through, you know, the paces that we were there to go through. So I appreciated that from him, and it was fun. It was nice spending the day with him.
Round 4, the undefeated Serrano against Krupp, and we will have more of Teddy and Greeny coming up in the fight plan before our main event.
Go to neutral corner for a minute.
And Ortega
Let me know
having
when
to take
you're
a little bit of control of this fight.
Don't retaliate. You all
Past
set?
round and a half.
Okay.
As he's straightening out Krupp.
Time in. Let's go.
Back to action.
You know, we also quite often talk about the records and looking at where they fought, Joe, as far as the validity of the records. You know, just based on where these two fighters have fought. Serrano,
the right hand there.
Serrano in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. You just know going in that Serrano's record is more legitimate. You can trust it more than you can trust the record of, as I said earlier, Krupp, who's had all but one of his fights in the South.
Another right hand landed from Serrano, but then with the windmill punches, following it up.
Well, give credit to the corner of Serrano because they've settled down Serrano. Part of it is the fighter himself, just maturing as the fight goes on. Bernard will tell you about this, growing up as you're in the middle of a contest. And he's doing a little of that, but his corner settled him down. His father, Ramon Serrano Sr., and father's sons, they don't always work. But right now, it's working.
Krupp trying to fire off the uppercut there.
And again, one thing you don't want to be, usually too much in anything in life, is you don't want to be too predictable. And Krupp, with that pickable style, you always know where he's coming in that front door and how he's coming.
Teddy, when you were with Cuss and you were training up in Catskill, I mean, throughout your career, there were various styles you obviously trained. But did you find a lot of flaws with it, with guys that couldn't pull it off at that top level?
Yeah, I adjusted. I adapted. I took what I thought was good, the nuts and bolts of things that were, I think, very solid, the rudiments of it. And I threw away things that, again, I thought were things that did not take you down a real progressive road. Things that you couldn't force one style onto everybody. And again, where you would get a predictability that instead of being a positive would wind up being a negative.
Let him out. Step back. Box.
Well, we've seen in the career of Rooney that he's tried to apply that style to others, and it doesn't always work.
No, and it's not working tonight. Some action from the last round. You see Serrano land something, but as we talked about and Bernard talked about, then he gets excited and he gets wild, and what happens? He doesn't land anymore, and he's lucky he didn't leave himself open to a comeback from Krupp. So again, you see Serrano, he lands something, and then he gets a little bit outside himself.
Teddy, that was the scorecard, 39-36, 10-8 round, when Krupp was hurt by the right hand, then went down moments later in the opening minute of this fight. Serrano in the red trunks, Junior Olympic international gold medalist and under-19 silver medalist, just 19 years old, from Philly, 8-0. The instructions from Kevin Rooney before this 5th round were you have to go after it, you have to be aggressive, now's the time.
And I'm sure those are the same instructions he probably got early on in the fight before he got behind the 8-ball in the scorecards, quite honestly, because the style that, at least the version of the pickable that Rooney brings, is to most of the time be aggressive.
Exactly.
And again, all the options belong to Serrano. You know, Krupp's coming at you, moving his head side to side. And when he does open up, usually with power shots, and usually with a little space in between where you can counter. Serrano, he can box on the outside, he can work a little on the inside, he can give angles, He's not in the front door all the time. As you can see right here, he's coming in the side door. Taking a walk around the block a little bit. Something that Krupp does not do. And again, you see Serrano has gotten a little bit more into a boxing mold. Again, he knows he got a guy that's coming at him the same way from far away. He can see those movements coming. So Serrano is content to stay outside, use his jab, pick a little bit, pot shot a little bit.
Yeah, right now that peekaboo style, not enough booth.
Oh, not at all.
Oh, work out of it. Let's go. Let him go.
Body shot came in from Serrano. Krupp came back with a right hand up top. And now they both open up with left hands. Serrano got the better of it.
Yeah, that was a nice combination. I'll tell you, Joe, why Serrano got the better of it. And I'm sure Bernard Hopkins will appreciate that combination. Serrano placed a nice right hand down to the body of Krupp to get his attention, and then came up with a nice left hook that landed up top.
Let him go. Come on.
Real simple, basic combination, but very effective. I always think about Tony Zell when I see that combination. You know that. He knocked out Rocky Graziano with that combination, of former middleweight champ. Right hand to the body, left hook to the head.
End of 5. 1 to go between Serrano and Krupp. ESPN.com/boxing. 6th and final round between Krupp and the unbeaten 19-year-old Ray Serrano. Scored a knockdown in round number 1. Good stabbing jab there, snapping back the head of Krupp.
Now there's going to be plenty of pot shot opportunities for Serrano because Krupp's going to be coming desperate now. And as he comes in, moving his head, you can see him coming, and you can pot shot him. You can pick him up on your radar, and that's what Serrano's looking to do. And again, with an aggressive guy and a wide guy like Krupp, he does some of your work for you, Joe. You know, you're looking to set up shots, but Krupp walking in, he sets them up, and he puts them right out there on the tee. Kind of like when you're golfing and somebody puts a ball on that tee and says, hey, you know, knock it off.
Break. Step out, step out, step back, step back.
Serrano a little bit smaller throughout his career so far, but that's going to change. He's only 19 years old. He's still growing. He's never been over welterweight, but Krupp has fought more than half his fights at junior middleweight. But that size advantage right now of Krupp's has not helped him.
It's a skill advantage. That's
exactly
the factor in this fight.
Very true.
Hands are free. Let's go.
Talked about the inactivity of Krupp. That doesn't help. Serrano had 6 fights in 2008, while Krupp had only 2.
Krupp was able to block that right hand. Serrano, the chief sparring partner for Delvin Rodriguez, who will be coming up in our main event. Taking on Shimon Alvarez. Interesting main event. Of course, Rodriguez, the first time on our air since that brutal battle he had last summer against Oscar Diaz.
Again, the technique very bad at Krupp, looking for big shots, out of position, off balance, and running out of time.
Threw a right hand that flipped him to the mat. Opened up that time, lowered his hands, and a left hand came in from Serrano, who now goes to the inside. Final 20 seconds here. Now they hear the clap. He got caught by a left-handed Serrano right on the top of the head there, and another one comes in for Krupp.